too long ago. So I like to think I'm here because I'm a tinkerer of electric bicycles. From a long line of great British tinkerers. Names up there we all know. I think they all have stuff in common. They like to fiddle with things, they like to break things, and more often than not, they live in a shed. The original personal hack space. A space to tinker, a space to think, a space to do stuff. I'm a tinkerer. Electric bikes are my tinkering thing. This was my dining room. That's all you get to see of the electric bike, so soak it up. It was like that for about a year, which was not good for dining. Not particularly good for building electric bikes either. Tried all those normal middle-class alternatives, loft conversions, conservatories. Just not very grand designs. I'm a web designer by trade, and I love grand designs. That's my favourite program in the world. But it inevitably comes to the point, halfway through the program, where Jocasta and Timothy turn to Kevin McLeod and say, I'm really sorry, we had to go 100 grand over budget. There were these taps we saw in Turin. They were wonderful. 100 grand over budget. That's not going to happen. It's not something I'm in a position to do. But I still wanted to do a grand designs. Around this time, I saw in The Guardian an article on garden offices with new shiny things, cheap, chic, eco-friendly, and above all, no commute. Could it be the way forward for workers looking for an office alternative? I saw one particularly beautiful, caught my eye, clad in cedar, a marvellous, marvellous thing. But 25 grand for a shed is not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. I convinced myself I would make my own shed. It would be as sleek as the EcoSpace Garden Studio. It would be beautiful, like a grand design. It would have a proper shed in it to keep all my kids' bikes and clutter, spiders. It would have an office, warm and insulated where I could work in summer and winter, but I'd build it for less than £1,000. I wasn't going to spend £225,000. So I had my £1,000 budget, I had my grand designs inspiration, so the blog was inevitably one grand designs. Not particularly good logos, people who work. It's way to me. First sketch, of course, first step is to design it. This is designed to scale around my backyard. I haven't got a massive mansion, I've got a little terrace house in Egworth, and this is based around this, which was currently in my backyard. That was the shed. A wonderful thing, that's not depth of field, it actually was that wonky. Every single dimension was different. It was full of spiders, full of tools, full of scary stuff, and no place to work. It was done on the cheap. The idea, free cycle, eBay. I convinced everybody I bought something off, I put them on the blog and see if they could knock £10 off the price for me. Worked out in total about £841 for materials. I built it simply, I'm not a builder. There was one course of bricks, which I was very proud of. The rest of it is built like a fence. There are big posts dug in the floor. Into the posts I glued plywood. Onto the plywood I glued 75mm thick insulation. Onto the plywood, onto the insulation, more plywood. The rest of it was kind of screwed and bolted together as best I could as I went along. You get an idea of how it went together in here. There's a framing, internal framing inside, as you can see, built around the bikes, which had to go in the shed part. The Kingspan insulation, wonderful stuff. It makes the whole thing work. Makes it into an office rather than just a shed. I clad the whole thing like the EcoSpace Garden Studio I love so much in cedar, which sent me ridiculously over budget. I was no longer a £1 grand design, I was a £1.5 grand design, but it made all the difference. It made it into a grand design for me. That's the finished article. I was very pleased to have been entered into Shed of the Year, where I won runner-up and winner in the Best Garden Office Character category, and in true grand design tradition, over budget to the tune of £1,850. Here's a little bit from here. You can all build one now and put the plans together, which are available to download from onegranddesigns.com. I've not finished them yet, just get onto the website and pester me to finish them because they're taking a lot longer than the shed took.